Alright, so here's a 223 video. These are all cases of my tumbler. I'm going to separate out the rest of the media. And a lot of this is Nato brass, so I'm going to swage out the crimp pocket. And if you've got regular brasses, you'll probably be able to skip the first few steps. So the loads I use is a 69 grain hollow point boat tail match from Sierra without a crimp pocket. And you need to get out your loading manuals. This is one of my favorite ones here if you want to just buy one. This is a Hornaday. This is 7th edition. I'm sure they're up to an 8th or a 9th edition by now. Got my scales for measuring powder, case gauge, some deburring tools, little primer pocket cleaner, got the swager, got the case trimmer, the primer flip tray, some primer tubes, and my case lubricant. And so we'll get started. Alright, I laid out some 223 brass, and little dents in the side and things like that shouldn't bother you. A neck that's like totally bent and crimped, that's not good. So I'm just going to spray some case lube on it. And when doing Nato brass, you're actually going to have to do it twice. And I'll show you why. So the next step is for Nato brass only, or brass that has crimp primer pockets. All I have set up in there is a resizing die, and it's actually adjusted really high just so I can punch the primer out, and then I'll get to the swaging. So this part goes really quickly. All I'm going to do is just remove the primers. That's all I'm doing. So this is only for military brass here. I'm not going to bother to separate it or look at it. I'm just going to swage it all. And so anybody who's got regular brass, you can skip this step, and we'll go on to the next one. Get the press loaded up, ready to go. All right, so now I got a tool head mounted on there with everything, and a resizing die that is going to size it down, and we're going to see what our case length is, and then we might have to do some trimming. Now this part applies to all rifle brass, and a case gauge is the easiest way to do it. You want it to be flush with that, and maybe a little bit low, and then you want to look at your overall case length. I don't know if you can see that or not. This one's just fine, so I probably won't be doing trimming it, but I'll show you some trimming, and then we'll go into the reloading part. On a single stage press, you're going to be able to resize your dies, or resize your cases, and then figure out whether you're too long, and then trim them. On a progressive press, you're going to have to predict it. In other words, you're going to have to run them and see whether they're too long, and then you're going to have to actually trim them before you resize them. So there could be a little bit of time involved there, and most of these aren't going to need to be resized at all. I'm just trying to show you an example. And if you load them light, you won't really have to trim them, as much. And when you trim cases, you just have to do a simple little deburring on the inside of the neck, or the mouth, and the outside, and that's just going to give it a smooth surface. Put the bullet in. So now we're going to set up the powder measure. I'm going to be using the Varget powder, and I'm going to load it somewhere around 23.5, right in there. I'm going to make them go a little bit slow, 2,600 feet a second. That's mainly for the rifles, and also to extend the life of the cases. So let's get to the powder measure. So I'm not going to run the machine itself to adjust the powder measure. I'm literally going to stick a shell in there. I'm going to cycle it, dump it. I'm going to cycle it again, dump it, and the trick to this, or the reason for this, is to just run it, and then we're going to measure and see what it does. Alright, so I've zeroed the scale. I'm going to cycle the powder measure one more time. And I think I was looking for 23.5. Right in there. So we're right there. So let's load up some primers and get to loading. And you definitely want a powder funnel for putting it back in these little pesky things. Be gentle with your bullets. Alright, so now we're ready to go. Let's see how it goes. First case comes on. Resized. It's already been deprimed. I had to swage it. I just primed that one. A little powder. Nothing on that station. Let's set a bullet on here. We're going to seat it. Then it's going to crimp it. And put it out the other side. So let's do a little checking. So I'm going to do a couple things right now. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my my overall length complete, and we're right on the money. And then we'll check the powder on the one that hadn't been loaded yet, and we'll do a case length check, and then we'll go ahead and roll it. Alright, so now we did all the preliminary stuff. We're going to go ahead and roll a bunch of them. And I like to start with a towel there in the bin there, because I added the large bin to this press. It's a pretty good fall, so I'll let a bunch fall on there and then pull that out from under there and do it again. I just don't like to beat up my ammo. So let's run some of these. Bullets are hard to pick up, like little toys. I'm not saying 223 is a bad round, it's just one of the ones that I find the most difficult to reload as far as having little problems with powder, priming pockets, and things like that. But I love to shoot them. It's a really cool round. It's just tricky to reload, especially on a progressive press. Anybody doing single stage loading, you're not going to have as many problems. So just a quick review of what your job is, or what's the most important thing for you to do in reloading any rifle ammo is getting your headspace right. And a case gauge is the best way to do that, unless you're making some really custom ammo. And what headspace is it's resting on the shoulder in the chamber and the bolt face. And that'll be the distance between that with it all the way in. And it's very important. So is overall case length. Crimping, that's something you need to just kind of experiment with. Reloading books are good for that. And whether you got to trim your cases or not. There's standards, and then there's custom stuff. And this is tricky to reload. Pistol's easy. Larger rifle calibers are easier to do. But anyway, I hope that was helpful, and just pay attention to headspace, especially on rifle stuff. It's very important. So I recommend a case gauge to anybody. So once again, I hope that was helpful, and you guys have a great night. See you. So this is just the start of a run on 223, and I hope this was somewhat helpful. They are a bit of a pain in the butt to reload. They're just small and tedious, and they're tricky. Where these 308s are a little bit easier. And it doesn't matter whatever equipment you have. It's all the same. You just need to follow your reloading manuals, and just buy a reloading book and try to understand some of the things on ballistics and things like that. It's really fun. It's a big money saver, and if I don't put up another video between now and Christmas, you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll try to get some more info coming to you. So you guys have a great night. See you next time.